Welcome to this episode of Social Media Jump Start, and I'm here with Kenny, and we are talking about Pinterest.
Yes.
So tell us a little about Pinterest. We were joking around on the last episode about how Pinterest is, a lot of people joke around it's just for women or just for moms or so forth. Tell us a little bit why that's not true.
Well, I think there's a lot of women on there, but the two things that are compelling to me to look at Pinterest from an organizational brand perspective is one is sharing is over the top. People like something like 80 or something percent of content on Pinterest are shared. So you can be a content creator, someone who actually publishes the stuff out there, and then there's all these people that actually just curate the content. Yeah. And so if you are a content creator, publisher, you have the ability to have your voice amplified dramatically. And second, the Pinterest is a great resource for traffic generation. That if you have the right images and links, etc., that you can actually drive traffic back to your website. And so it's a perfect place to start experimenting of gaining new audiences and exposure to your own website.
Yeah, and one thing we're going to talk about this in the lingo section, but when you upload something to Pinterest, it's photos, and you have the ability to control the source file of that photo. So it's really important, even when you're uploading it, is to make sure you put in the links.
Yes.
So you can drive that type of activity.
Correct. Yeah, so to describe exactly what you do, the lingo there is a pin and a board. Okay, so it's like you have a bulletin board, and you have all these little pins, these little posts that you pin to the board. And what you're saying is, you can upload a photo.
I'm picturing flannel right now. So.
It might be.
No.
Yours might be flannel.
Okay.
But basically, you have a board, and you put interesting posts that are all categorized under one type of category, and then basically, and you can do videos. That's the one thing that most people don't understand is, hey, videos are fair game. In fact, the videos are very engaging. So you put these collections of topics and subject matter up on the boards via pins, and then you can put a link so that people can click through to learn more, to read more about it, and it goes to whatever site, and that typically could be yours, it could be other third-party websites, etc.
So with an organization, a church or a business or a nonprofit, what are some good things for them to do on Pinterest when you're talking about organizing that content? Yeah,
I think first of all, it is really trying to get the word out there about your own organization first, and then sharing with people topics that relate to your organization. So if you, for almost any organization, whether you're a church, a nonprofit, or for-profit, one of the first things I say is, hey, create some boards about the towns or city that you're living in. That then you should be able to pin all the websites and interesting places, things to do about your town and city. Be that tour guide for that city, because people are searching for things. They're going to discover that, and then you're going to be a relevant voice in that. That's a great place. The other thing is about your teams and your staff. You can do a whole pin board about just your people, so people can get to know you.
Love that idea.
It's better than just a standard bio page. And then obviously you can click through to your bio page on your website.
And I know even with a church, a practical example is churches can create really helpful photos of quotes from the weekend, and you can actually create things that are shareable and relevant. So sometimes even in the context of churches and nonprofits, there's facts or quotes or takeaways that you want people to have, and you can create a board that's even just things from the weekend that you want people to memorize, and then those can become really an archive of shareables.
Sure, or the bibliography, or what we say fell to the cutting room floor, right? So there's stuff that you will produce in terms of events and stuff, but there's resources, there's books, there's other websites that you came across that's related to that topic. This is a place to put it all in one place, and people who want to explore and go deeper, it's a perfect resource to engage them further. It's a real help to point them to other resources that are related to something that you either presented this past weekend or in one of the meetings.
So what are some helpful tools that people can use right now to kind of jumpstart their activity on Pinterest?
So it's kind of like Hootsuite, but Hootsuite doesn't support Pinterest. But you're looking for tools that potentially allow you to pre-schedule content so that you're not living in it every single day. And so there's a great tool called Curate. There's a couple that are popping up. Pinterest is late to the game in terms of opening up an API and really allowing other people to get in there. But Curate is a tool to actually go in and explore and see if that works for you.
And Canva, again, is another one. We're going to keep on
anything
saying
visual,
it. Anything visual. It's a great way to create powerful, slick images for, and Pinterest is definitely one of those places.
Yes.
So with people watching right now and wanting to jumpstart that activity on Pinterest, what's some homework that we can give them to get them rolling?
Yes, I think really is, like I said, any organization, this is relevant, create a board that is focused on your town or city or wherever your presence is, and start to gather information, pins that's related to that. That's the first piece of information. Second one is, if you're a church, I would go back and any sermon slides, any quotes, any Bible references, those are the things that use Canva to create some graphics and images and post it. Or if a third option is if you actually record your sermons. If that's a great easy way to take your archive of video sermons and post them to pin boards and share it with the audience on Pinterest.
Yeah, and make sure when you're doing that, when you're creating your Pinterest account and you're creating a page for your organization and you're creating and I would just start with 3 boards. Make sure every time you upload something, take time to write the description very strategically. Make sure you include the source feed so that people click through, and you can get started and just explore in there and get going by just creating an account, and it's very simple. So on our next episode of Social Media Jumpstart, we're going to actually talk about Instagram. So it's kind of like Pinterest on steroids a little bit in terms of activity, similarities, but very unique as well. So stay tuned for our next episode on Instagram.